Hello lovelies and welcome to my first Project Life layout of the year. I know we're at the end of February just about and I've only just started, but anyway. As usual with my Project Life, I'm doing a grab 5 where I grab 5 things from my stash. I like to do this with all of my Project Life videos purely because it helps me use up my stash, and also it just gives me different things to use up every time I start one. Because I have such a big stash, but also I tend to use what's right in front of me. And if I go and purposely grab 5 things from my stash and put them on my desk for the pure purpose of doing a layout, I'm going to use it more often, which is why the grab 5 works really well for me. Now, this is not my idea. I saw this from the fabulous Inky Quill, Adele Toomey, and it just works really well. So every Project Life spread I do, I go and grab 5 things out of my stash and I make sure to use them on my layout. Sometimes, thanks to my lovely ADHD brain, I forget to use other things as well. I'm not limited to the 5 things I grab. My brain forgets that sometimes. But yeah, so it's just to get me using up different things in my stash, so my layouts are different all the time and I don't get bored with them, and I'm not always using the same supplies. Sometimes I cheat like I did in this one, and the last thing I grabbed in this grab 5 was an entire set, like coordinating set of bits and pieces from the Reject Shop that I had for a couple of years. I bought these a few years ago. I've put all my Reject Shop sets in these little bags, so there's die cuts, chipboard pieces, Project Life cards, and they all coordinate. And I grabbed one of those as well as a whole bunch of other things. Sometimes these things have been sitting on my desk when I've been cleaning up, and I think, okay, this will be a good thing to use up. I will admit I did not use the washi tape on this spread at all. But that doesn't bother me. I'm not, kicking myself that I didn't use it. It's just, like I said, to try and get me to use up different things from my stash so I'm not always using the same supplies and that I'm actually using my supplies. This turned out great because I love this card down the bottom that I just did. It just works perfectly for this photo. It's just a random photo of Ruby and her dad sleeping, fast asleep early in the morning, and it just suited them perfectly. And then you'll see on the other side as well that some of those bright papers from the paper pad really work well. This is what I mean. This is a collection of die cuts that came from the Reject Shop. It's a cheapy store in Australia that used to do really good scrapbooking collections, and you'd be able to get the cards, the die cuts and everything to match the theme. This is one of those that I grabbed. And as I'm going through the die cut pack, what you'll see me do is I pull out things. I'm trying to work on this card here, but I'm seeing things that will work for other photos that I have out. So I'm going through the pack and I'm putting them in a little cluster up the top to, for ones that I feel might work for other photos that I have. And yeah, I do end up using a lot from this pack. This was a great pack to pick, I have to admit. And so this is there are a lot of photos here, 3x4 photos that I'm putting onto a 4x6 spot because I didn't really take a lot of photos. Well, it's not that I didn't take a lot of photos, it's just week 1, the way I'm documenting it for 2025, I went from the 1st to the 5th, which obviously I think the 1st was a Wednesday. I didn't start from that Monday. I do Monday to Sunday because the week starts on a Monday to me. I didn't do Monday to Sunday. I did from the 1st to the 5th. That's just the way I felt like doing it this year. Other years, I couldn't even tell you if I've always done it the same way, but it's just the way I do it. And yeah, so it was only a 5-day week. Most of the photos on the second half of this layout are all from the one day, my niece's birthday party. So yeah, there was a lot of spaces, wasn't a lot of 4x6 photos for this one. But there was a lot of opportunity for me to do some journaling, like the one down the bottom of me creating my art journal. That was actually the first time I had my art journal out in a while, so I really wanted to document that because it has been a long time. And those little die cut bits and pieces were perfect. There were some really good ones in there. Pulling out some paper from the paper pad, which I'm turning into 4x6 cards, which you would have seen me do on the other side as well. And like I said, some of those die cuts that I pulled out worked perfectly for other photos, like all the birthday themed ones, which I didn't even realise because I pulled out the first page of photos and didn't even look at the second. Until later on that, oh look, we're documenting a birthday. So fabulous, it worked out great. So I have all those die cuts ready to go, and those coloured papers were just perfect, even though her cake was Nightmare Before Christmas themed, and those lovely bright colours probably wouldn't have worked, but anyway, it was an ice cream cake, so it works. So these 3 photos are all, like I said, they're all 3x4s, but plenty of spaces for journaling. This is my niece's birthday. She turned 4, and like I've said before in many videos, I screenshot a lot of conversations, Snapchats, all sorts of things, and this was a text exchange from my sister asking if I could make a cake topper a day before the party, and sending a picture of my niece to try and win me over. It did, of course. How cute does she look? But yeah, and then this is a picture of the cake with the lovely cake topper. And this piece of pattern paper was just perfect because it was Nightmare Before Christmas themed with Sally. And yeah, it just looked like a spider web to me. So I do use most of the bits and pieces that I have pulled out. Like I said, the only thing I didn't use was the washi tape. But things like this, literally, apart from the Reject Shop collection, were basically sitting on my desk, and I thought these would be good to use to try and start using them up. So I knew that these tiny words would be great. I think there was 4 of them. They were I got them all together. I think it was in like a grab bag of some kind. And so I've been using those. There was like 3 pages of the Simple Stories tiny phrase stickers. I have a lot of these. Literally, for some reason, there was 3 random ones sitting on my desk, so I decided to use those 2. Oh, I struggled with this one. Hey, and I did realise at the end that there was one filler card that I actually didn't put anything on the first page. So I will have to get back to that and check on that and maybe fill that in. But see, it doesn't bother me. Just getting, memories in the album, that's what it's all about. Like you can tell, I've just done week 1 and I think we're in week 7. I always get so far behind with my project life. I say it every year, I want to get caught up, but I know I never will. But if I can at least get the majority of my photos in the album, I'll be happy. So yeah, it's an ongoing project for me, but it keeps me busy. I just want the memories in the albums. And so this is another good use of a 4x6 card. It's a bit sideways, but it works for me. And that's just a picture of my youngest nephew. He is my boy. And yeah, this is just a lovely little picture there. See, this is a spot where I remembered that I have other bits and pieces. So there's next to me on my desk, there's a pile of random sticker sheets, little ones, puffy stickers, not sequins, rhinestones, all sorts of things like that. So keeping them next to me reminds me to use them, which is why there are a lot of puffy stickers on this layout, which you'll see where I've used the hearts and the stars. But it's always a good way of reminding me to use them. But this die cut pack, I think, was definitely the winner for this layout. I found bits that I could use for almost the majority of my layout, which I loved. And then just filling in the last little bits. We know that how much I love to do my journaling on little strips of cardstock when I want to add some journaling to paper. But yeah, so that's it for me. I know it was it's a bit late, but hope you like it. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon. Bye for now.